Welcome to us figuring out which ancient relic is the best ancient relic of all of them. We've done a whole series, we've ranked each ancient's relics, and now this list right here that you see on screen is our S tiers. One of these is the best ancient relic in the game, and we are going to find out together. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Alex.
Alex, we have a fundamental question and maybe a fundamental disagreement. Are we ranking these on how valuable it is to get when you get it or off raw power? Because the value of getting something in Act 1 is much different than if you have to wait till Act 2 or Act 3 to get.
I think you introduced as the best relic, which means you just got to do raw power. Additionally, I think it is a lot easier to just compare raw power instead of like trying to add the nuance of like, okay, well, Act Three, like let me think exactly where we are at that point, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. I think it's just a lot more streamlined, a lot easier if we just do raw power on all these.
But the problem with doing just raw power is I'm like, well, meat cleaver is the best because you get it at the beginning and you get 20 removes. And you
Yeah,
have a deck
okay.
of 3 cards and they you just play those over and over again.
That's fair. Yeah, we can. I don't know. I think we can just figure it out as we go.
I think we gotta have like some sense of how valuable to a run this is.
Right.
So it's a comparison of would I rather see Leafy Poultice in Act 1 or Storybook in Act 2? Which one do I
Okay.
think provides more value?
Yeah, I dig that.
Okay. Now that we've decided on that, for viewers at home, that means it's going to be a little iffy when you're comparing between Act 1 relics and Act 2 versus Act 3 relics. It should be pretty good within that pool when you're thinking of comparing when you're looking at the different Act 2. But it'll be a little bit iffy where we do have to make some judgment call. Is getting this relic in Act 3 worth more or less than getting this relic in Act 2? Well,
Sounds good. I'm ready.
starting off, we have the Niao relics. First, we have Massive Scroll. Upon pickup, choose one of 3 multiplayer cards to add to your deck. Um, in our Niao, I'll kind of do this. Oh no, Alex, you should do this because I don't think I've ever taken this one.
Okay. Yeah. We put this as top as Meow, and it's the thoughts we had were very fresh in my mind because that was our most recent video. We just talked about how absurd multiplayer cards are in general, and this allows you to choose between one of 3 multiplayer cards. And well, I just specifically recounted Thomas getting flanking at the beginning of the run, and it just like single-handedly carried us throughout the entire run. Like, sure, we had other broken stuff going on, but flanking, just making all 4 of us doing double damage is absurd. And the fact that this allows you to get these absurd cards, multiplayer cards are commonly upscaled and just generally very, very strong in general. And so this gives you some really powerful cards. That being said, you don't always hit, and sometimes you just walk away with a perfectly okay card, and it does depend on your character as well. That being said, I think it's really strong. It's so hard to compare these to all the other, specifically Niao relics are the hard compare. How can I dare say this is S tier when I'm staring at some of the most broken relics in the game? And to be fair, I don't think it is S tier because I don't think it's actually like that much more broken compared. Like you can start with most Niao relics and be like perfectly fine. Like your Niao relics fundamentally, in my opinion, Joseph, I know you've talked about how you think Niao, picking your Niao blessing is like perhaps the most important decision in the
Important
entire
decision
game.
in the whole run.
Yeah. And I just don't know if I
Yeah,
feel that.
I'm not sure because they really aren't trying to make you win the run on decision number one, right?
Right.
Uh,
So I feel like you could get this, or you could get shears, or you could get precise scissors, or you could get whatever. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, you'll still be fine. It's like it's not. Yeah, but clearly, I think this is very strong, and so for that reason, I'd put it. I don't know, putting it in tiers is weird. I'll put it in A tier, I guess. Maybe
that
B
feels good
tier.
to me.
Honestly, I really don't think that this decision is as important or impactful compared to the other relics we're going to talk about. So
What
I
are
would
the
argue for B
options
tier.
you think? What is the percentage of time you think that picking this gives you something that just wins the run?
Multiplayer cards are broken. That's fair. That's fair. I guess yeah, I can give it up for A tier on this one because it can just win you the run. I feel like in a four-player multiplayer game. But I'm
Okay.
going to argue for our next two Niao relics to rank them lower because overall I just think that decision is less important and impactful than the other relics.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, with Leafy Poultice, I kind of want it to be a B tier. Leafy Poultice says upon pickup, transform one of your strikes and one of your defense. And I love that transform right at the beginning because it can give you rares that really shape your run. Um, I think the two removes doesn't change. I mean, like the removes can also really change the game of having a small deck. But I think what gives it above a C for me is the chance to hit rare cards that really influence the whole run going forward. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm okay with this for now. I think we may come back and lower both of these a tier considering how busted these cards are. So it's a very top heavy tier list, which means we should probably shift things down more often. But we'll circle back to that.
well, I will also notice that Leafy Poultice, you do lose 12 max HP, which I forgot to mention, and is not nothing.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I
It's
always take it
it's
anyways. It's not enough to dissuade you from taking it, but it is a downside that might influence where it should go. Uh, Precise Shears. Upon pickup, remove two cards from deck and take 16 damage. Alex?
Yeah, we put this in S tier. Sorry. We put we put this in S tier when we made the Niao. I'm not actually sure if it belongs in the same tier as Leafy Poultice in the multiplayer scroll here. I like it's great. Um, but also like you could act one's really hard in general, and you can accidentally kind of die if you lose 16 HP. I mean, you could say the same thing about Leafy Poultice, but that's not true. Leafy Poultice gives you this instant power boost of replacing a strike and defend versus this. I guess you could argue that having two less strikes is like,
It's a power
or
boost.
it's a power boost, but like it's not a crazy power boost unless you're Necrobinder.
Yeah.
And so I would say D tier for this one. I don't yeah I
I
don't think I think
miss
it pales in comparison to.
I'm sad we don't have a third person because I miss tie breaking votes when we disagree. Because I kind of want to put this in C tier. Really, where that two removes shines is later in the run when you have a very slim deck and you just get to play your most busted cards over and over again. Um, I see the argument for D tier though. I want to put it in C, but I will. I can put it in D. I can do it.
Yeah, we'll put it top of D for.
No, that'd be super annoying. Top of D is the next relic. Which is now we're on to Act Two relics. We've got Pale's Eye. Um, Pale's Eye said the first time each combat you end your turn without playing cards, exhaust your hand, and take an extra turn. Pale Eyes is weird because I know the effect is busted, but as we mentioned in Pale tier list, I always forget about it when I pick it up. So I pick it up, I'm like, this is crazy. And then I just don't skip when I should. So it means I feel like I've got a uh, very unclear perspective of how good it really is. I want to put it in C tier, honestly, but I could be convinced to B or D. Uh, I think
Yeah,
it's a super powerful effect. It's never been as powerful as I know it is.
yeah, I think I feel fairly similarly. I like it's a good power boost, and on paper it's broken, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's as game changing as a lot of these other relics. And yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think, I don't know. I feel like I'm looking back on these and I'm like, I'm pretty confident that this should be S tier for Pale. But at the same time, like, is it S tier for Pale? And I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, so I agree with C tier here. Yeah.
Okay. We've broken Archaic Tooth out into the separate cards. Um, I'm not sure if it should have, but Silence card didn't make our S tier in the last
Why
video.
did it make our S tier?
So you won't see Suppress, but we're going to go through these now. Alex, where would you put Meteor Shower? So we're in Orobas relics. Meteor Shower is a. Sorry, let me take that back a second. Archaic Tooth transforms one of your starting in cards into a much better version. So this will transform your Falling Star card with Regent into Meteor Shower. It's a 0 energy 2-star card that deals 14 damage to all enemies and applies 2 weak and 2 vulnerable to all enemies. Upgraded, it's 21 damage to all enemies.
Yeah, it's kind of absurd output for a two-star card, and it's AoE, which unless you get a copy of, I forget what card it's called. AoE, I feel like can be a problem for Regent unless you get Astral Pulse
Astral
specifically. And so this just helps out a lot with AoE fights and too vulnerable and too weak and a good amount. Yeah, I think that this is like really, really strong, and I would argue for S tier for Meteor Shower.
that 2 weak and 2 vuln would be good for 0 energy 2 stars. Just that. And then on top of it, it's doing 21 damage once you upgrade it. It's good in every fight and it trivializes AoE fights. I agree. Next, we have Necrobinder. We're upgrading our Unleash to be Protector. Our Unleash was already a great card. It was 1 energy, and it dealt scaled damage based off Aussie's current HP. But now it's 1 energy, 0 upgraded, deals 10 damage, deals damage equal to Aussie's max HP. So even if Aussies take damage, it still does damage. Uh, I think this is nowhere as consistent as Meteor Shower was. It is very busted in big Aussie decks, but I think it's much less likely to just be busted. Um, can be all the damage you need for a Necrobinder card. Very good. But I would put it at top of B tier just because not all the time is it going to be that deal all the damage you need in the world.
Yeah, I would even argue C tier for that reason. Like it only really fits into a specific build. And if you're running, yeah, if your Asti isn't getting past like 11 health, which isn't uncommon, I feel like, then it doesn't do that much more than an Unleash. It barely does more than an Unleash. And Unleash is already a strong card, and so even, yeah, and so for that reason, like it only fits into a subsection of decks you're going to be building. In those subsections, it's quite strong, but I would argue that Unleash is already very powerful in general. And so I don't feel like it's as much of an upgrade as like
Mhm.
Meteor Shower is. When you compare those two cards, Meteor Shower is just like 2 tiers above it. Protector's like 1 tier above it, in my opinion. compared to
Mhm.
Unleash. And so I would argue for C tier.
Ooh. But is it better than Leafy Boltons? I like the upgrade on Protector that makes it free. Free 15 base, scale off HP. And I really feel like we say it's a subset of decks, which is an important thing to say. But I think all decks should default to being that kind of deck with
Yeah, that's fair.
Necrobinder. Like it is the default deck, and if you're running something else, it's often a mistake.
Sure.
Uh, which is why I'd have him B, but I'd be okay with C if we wanted. Not like superposed, but I like that upgrade a lot. It's
Yeah,
the
making
best
it zero
deck.
cost is very notable. I
Yeah. It means you can block with all the rest of your energy, right? And then still do damage while blocking every turn.
I don't know. I think its snap pickability not being quite there is really what's keeping me from putting it higher.
Okay, we'll put in C for right now. Are you on the next one?
Yeah.
Bash is getting upgraded to Break. Bash is a 2 energy, 8 damage, 2 vuln. And now it's going to be a 1 energy, 20 damage, 5 vuln. And when upgraded, it's 30 damage, 7 vuln.
Yeah, we were talking about this card just the other night because even like, okay, costing one is absurd. And then the amount of damage it does for a one cost card is absurd. And then the amount of vulnerable it applies is absurd. It single-handedly can make you start doing vulnerable synergies just right off the bat. Like you don't need any other setup. You can just play a singular break. And it's not like it exhausts, so you just play it again later, and then suddenly, your bullies are doing a bajillion damage with break alone. Like you don't need any other support. Suddenly you're the card that is I dominate is suddenly gaining you so much strength off of this one card. On top of the card just being really, really strong in the first place. It
Super cheap way to open up all the
yeah,
vulnerability synergies.
yeah,
Super
yeah.
cheap.
So I
That
and
30
I
damage
think
is
as
a lot.
well, like I was talking about with Protector, another reason why I wanted in C tier is because I only feel like it's one tier above Unleash versus Break, I feel like is three tiers above Bash. Like Bash is not the greatest starting card. Like it can be okay, Vulnerable is good, but like it is not the greatest starting card. Whereas compared to Break is tiers and tiers above it, way better. So it's replacing like a card that I've removed sometimes from my deck with a card that's insane. So I put it S tier easily.
You're S tier on break?
I S tier on Break. I really think it's broken, no
Oh
pun
my
intended.
gosh. I thought all this was leading to be like B tier on break.
No, bro. What do you
Uh,
mean? So
because
cheap, so much damage, so much vulnerable. Opens up an entire package of insane power.
uh, I feel like
Carries you through combats.
I'm trying to compare it to Protector, right? Which we just put in C tier, right? And I honestly think it's might be worse than Protector, but the only reason I think it's better is because your Bash is so much worse of a card than Unleash,
It's
right?
true. It's true. It's true.
And
Yeah, well, it's
the
interesting because of reflecting back on our archaic tooth rankings in that video. I feel I would have ranked, looking back on it now. I mean, of course, suppress S tier as I was rooting for back then, but also maybe, just maybe, I'm lower on Protector than other people, especially Becky, who is with us, who is a very high on Protector as she plays the most Necrobinder, which maybe that means I should trust her opinion more. Uh, and so maybe I would have pushed for Protector as A tier now. Like, I think if we redid that, I wouldn't want Protector in S tier. Same with our remove two cards, which is why I put that in D tier. So I don't know.
because Protector is like zero. You upgrade it, it's a 0.15 plus Austi's health, right? So it's often a
Yeah,
0.25.
that is a
This
lot
is
of
a
damage just
130
outright.
versus a 0.25, right?
Yeah,
Um, I my instincts want to put it in B, but I feel like you've convinced me of A, but just the fact that it opens up all the Vuln synergies. Because
it makes them
I
insane. It makes them insane, like
yeah,
automatically.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like Meteor Shower does what it needs to do on its own. It's adding that defense. I think Meteor Shower is a tier above Break.
Yeah, I could. I'm comfortable with A tier for sure.
Okay. Uh, is oh man. Defect. We're upgrading our dual cast into a quad cast. Um, I don't think either of us are actually that high on this card. We just, in theory, think it's really good.
Yeah.
Quad casting Dark Orbs specifically is crazy. Quad casting Ice Orbs is a lot of defense, right? It's a zero, could be 0-20 defense or a 0-200 offense sometimes, right? The 0-200 offense is really where it earned the S tier. Um, but oh, sorry. If you didn't know from the name, Quadcast is now evoking your rightmost orb 4 times. Um,
Replacing dual cast, which evokes it twice.
yeah. And it's one, it costs one unupgraded, zero upgraded. So I'm currently thinking D tier, but I wouldn't be ashamed with C. I wouldn't be ashamed with Protector being in B either. So maybe I'm just a little bit higher than you on these.
Yeah, no, I agree with D tier on Quadcast. I feel like exactly what you said. I think we're both actually a little bit lower on this. It's just broken in principle with Dark Orbs, but I think you don't always have Dark Orbs. I mean, maybe I should always have Dark Orbs. Is that just me playing defect poorly? I don't know. And I mean, same with Protector. You reference like, if you're not running an Aussie build, are you just playing Necrominder incorrectly? Maybe, maybe.
If you're not trying to
I
store Osti health specifically, the Osti attack builds, those are actually those are niche, right? Those shouldn't be gone into very often. So, go ahead.
No, that was good. The other notable synergy that pops in my mind with Quadcast is if you have the power that makes evoking lightning orbs do like a 6 more damage. I forget exactly how much more damage.
Mhm.
Quadcasting a lightning orb can do obviously a ton more damage with that specifically. But yeah, overall I feel like I'm lower on this and would agree with D tier.
Okay. Yeah, if Protector's in C, I want it in D, but I'd be
Yeah,
okay with
maybe
moving
Protector should
Protector
be in B.
up
I feel like
and moving Quadcast to C. But I think it's a tier lower. Would you rather
yeah,
have Quadcast or Pale's Eye?
Pale's Eye. But the fact that I had to think about it. It's because Pale's Eye is the weird one that I know it. Well,
um, we'll leave it as it is for right now. We might have to go back and do some more ordering later. This is
it
normally we
is a
don't order
weird
our
tier
tiers,
list.
but I think we should order our tiers this time. So that might be a fight later. But um, next we have the essence of Orbas. Is that what it's called? No, it's called Touch of Orbas. It upgrades your starting relic. And so this is silence. It's upgrading the Ring of Snake to a Ring of Drake, which I think is funny. And so instead of for your first turn, you have 2 extra cards. This is for your first 3 turns. Um, Alex, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I was always lower on it. You're the reason why I got put up in the S tier in the first place. And so to me, this is a D tier relic. I still don't
How
feel
about
like it. You
how about
offered
I
so
take
many
it?
good arguments though last time.
Yeah, yeah. Um, it's just really useful to have 2 extra cards a turn. And those first 3 turns are the most important, right? It's going to let you hit your powers. It's going to let you, when you're still setting up, um, it'll let you line things up better, right? You'll be able to play defense when you need to. So it's a consistency boost. It gets you to your powers a lot faster. It pretty much that's four extra draws, right? Because you're replacing the thing that gives you two draws on turn one. So it's four extra draws. It's like you're drawing an extra hand faster. It lines up sly and discard cards very easily. I think it's got all sorts of benefits. I personally like it better than Quadcast. Uh, I might
Yeah,
have it bottom of C tier personally.
I could be convinced bottom of C tier. I just find perhaps I just already have enough card draw, or I just find that I am already running low on mana, especially with Silent that doesn't have easy ways to gain mana outside of Sly as being a mana cheat mechanism. And so I like have these additional cards, but I can only play the same amount of cards frequently, and so I find less power in that card draw. But that being said, at the same time, having more cards in your hand inherently, especially with Sly, means that your Sly and your discard is going to line a lot easier, and so you do get that additional mana by cheating out these Sly cards. So that's fair. I just like, I don't know, on paper, I'm just like, I don't really need. I don't know. I don't know why I'm lower on this, but yeah, no. I mean, you keep making these arguments.
If there is a
They feel
thing,
good to me.
if there is a reason it should be D tier, it's because it's replacing Ring of Snake. If I mean, I actually might have this even higher. If you gave this to any other character, you just said, "Here's the thing that gives you six draws." Right, your first three card turns, you have plus two draws. I think that would fundamentally change a lot of characters.
Yeah,
Kind
yeah,
of. But you're replacing something where you already had two draws in your first turn. So you're like missing the most important turn to increase your draws. You're not doing that, right? Um, so the other two turns, right? This basically says draw two extra cards on turn two and turn three, which are less valuable to do that than turn one. Um, but I like where it is. Like I think it's good. Storybook. This is Tezcatara, the one Tezcatara S tier we had. Storybook adds a card into your deck, and that card says, "Take another turn." No, that card is Brightest Flame, zero energy, gain two energy, draw two cards, lose one max HP. Upgraded, it's three energy, and draw three cards, lose one max HP. Which, if you notice, three energy is what you started your turn with. So it really gets you an extra turn worth of energy. Alex, where would you put this?
yeah. I think this. Yeah, it's kind of absurd. The lose max one HP is just not that impactful often cases, and so you just like get you just get tons of cards and tons of energy, and it's just so good. And I think the reason you referenced that it was our only S tier in Tezcatara, and that's I feel like because it's just a tier above everything else because it's so strong, and I am very happy. Oh, like yeah, I think this is S tier. That being said, I did just have a run the other day where something else was better. Like that's not that still happens with this relic, even though it is broken. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have any additional thoughts? I feel like we've talked about why extra energy and extra card draw and how losing max 1 HP isn't that impactful plenty in our previous video.
Yeah, I feel good about that. Um, I could possibly. Yeah, no, I think it deserves to be an S tier.
Yeah, especially because it's like Act 2. It can just like carry you through Act 2 and Act 3. Like it's so strong in Act 2 and so strong in Act 3. Like it doesn't, its power doesn't let up.
Yeah, yeah. Um, the yeah, no, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. It's so much. Uh, Sometimes you will sort things in the game into like immediate attack, immediate defense, scaling attack, scaling defense, and then after that you have just uh, things that make those things easier, right? You got the fuel, the grease, and this is just take another turn. Take another turn, guys. It's insane.
For
Um,
max 1 HP, which is sometimes better than lose 1 HP. It's like
which is sometimes better than lose one HP. It's often I feel better doing that than
which
losing
is
one
so
HP.
funny. It's so funny.
Uh yeah. Next we have Darv's relics. Darvs can show up in Act 2 or Act 3, which is why we're doing them in the middle here, and which makes them even harder to compare. Uh, but starting off, we've got the Dusty Tomes, which just give you a very powerful card that might have been from the last game if your character was in the last game, or is new. And I am trying to get the current version of Sealed Throne because the wiki
So riddle me
does
this.
not.
We put this in S tier when it was the old version. So we actually rank the old version.
No, I'm gonna rank the current. What are we talking about? No, I want to know.
Is the
Okay,
current even in S tier though? For the other tier
is the
lists?
current in S tier? I do not know. So this used
I've
to be
also
one
never played with
energy,
the
three
current.
stars. I haven't played with the current because I haven't played that much Regent recently. I played a lot of Regent at the beginning, and this was busted. It was insane. It might be the best ancient relic in the game, the old one, which was one energy, 3 stars. It came upgraded with the keyword innate. Whenever you play a card, gain 1 star. So you would get to play it on the turn one, and then play all your other cards, and they would just generate stars for you. It was every star card was 1 star cheaper. Every other card generated 1 more star. It was insane. It was all the stars you needed. It let you just play the most crazy star cards over and over again, and it was beautiful. It was fun. The issue now is its upgrade makes it a 0 cost 3 stars whenever you play a card, gain a star. So now this can be anywhere in your deck, and I haven't gotten to play with it yet. It's going to feel a lot worse because it doesn't show up right at the beginning and fix all your ordering problems with Regent. I can't believe it's bad though. Like I would take this top of C, maybe bottom of B. I really do like this thing that just it's so much free energy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I often think of stars like 0.75 energy. And so this just says every card gets you 0.75 energy back. That's a lot of discount on the cost of cards. So I want to put it in B.
Yeah, I think I feel comfortable with that. I think one thing to know, one reason why the original was so broken was you could have no star gen or you could be struggling with star gen and it just like because it's innate, you just do everything. But like sometimes when I pick it up, I already had star gen in my deck. And so it's not like I was necessarily needed to rely on the sealed throne to help with my ordering problems and making sure I get star gen before I get my star cards and things of that nature. I already have some star gen in my deck sometimes. And so in those cases, it doesn't even like feel awful the fact that I don't get it at the front. And yeah, I mean, if you draw it at the end of your deck, that's gonna feel a lot worse. But yeah, it's still absurd upside. And if you draw it in your first half of your deck, you just yeah, I mean, for every reason we talked
Or if you're
about,
facing, the bosses or something where you're doing multiple deck cycles, right?
then
Um,
it's still gonna pay off
it's going to pay
in
itself off.
dividends. But it's
Yeah.
certainly not gonna be broken busted as we would have said with the pre-nerf.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean B bottom B feels yeah, B so yeah, that feels good to me, yeah.
Next, we have Runic Pyramid. When you pick it up, you no longer discard cards at the end of your turn. So it's like every card now has retain. Alex, where do you think Runic Pyramid should go?
Oh boy. Runic Pyramid. Retain is a good keyword. And this gives it to everything. It lines up everything that you could ever imagine. You can do whatever you want. The only thing you can't do, I suppose, is if you don't have enough energy draw or too much card draw, and your hand ends up slogging up with like defends and strikes. To be fair, even if you have five defends or strikes clogging up your hand, and you're just drawing your other half of your hand, that means you never have to draw those defense and strikes ever again, which is still great. And I
I lost a run yesterday where I picked up Runic Period. I just said that's good. And then in my head, I thought, what's good with a retain keyword? Oh, big cards, right? Like 2-cost cards are really good when they retain because I get to play my blood wall when I want to play my blood wall. And then I just had all these 2-cost cards and I wasn't drawing cards anymore and I died. I think I was going to lose that run anyways, but
yeah, be wary about that. That could happen for sure. Is it simply S tier? I think the answer is yes. I believe the answer is
see,
yes.
the
Riddle
problem
riddle
is
me that.
I logically know that it's probably S tier. But for me, I'm not as good as me in the retain keyword. I know it's really good, but I don't always play with it as well as I with it as powerful as I know it is, right? So logically I know it's S, but I want to put it top of A and just because I would rather have Storybook than Runic Pre-Print. I would rather have Meteor Shower. Um, I would probably want it over the things in A tier. I'd probably put top of A. But
I think it's a tier above the things in A.
okay.
But I agree. It can stay at the bottom of S. So Pandora's box here. I can't tell if
Have
you're frozen
faith.
actually. Okay, you were frozen. You were frozen. Okay.
Okay, should I restart my Pandora's box?
Yes.
So you open up the box, and it's supposed to release all badness into the world, but instead it just makes you happy because it transforms all strikes and defense. And now you don't have those dumb, boring base cards. Instead, you have fun, exciting, not base cards. If you don't already have some cards that grant defense, you might just lose in the first 2 hallways before you can pick those up. But otherwise, this does amazing things. Just amazing things.
It's
Uh,
so dumb. It's like remove eight and replace them with better cards. It is just like I mean, okay, not all the cards you want are you don't want every single card. And so, whatever. But I took this just the other day and it removes 8 cards for me and gives me 7 cards that I want. And then I just take one shop, remove one more card. I'm like, yeah, my deck is just only good cards. Only like really good cards because Pandora's box removed every strike and every defend. Yeah, I think this is S tier. I like this more than I like Runic Pyramid, even though on paper Runic Pyramid is better. But man, it's just like removing every strike and defend. Are you kidding me? It's so crazy.
I feel good. I feel good.
Do you know if we put Pandora's box above Runic Pyramid in the other video?
We did not. It was Sealed Throne, Runic Pyramid, then Pandora's Box. Just because we've been told by all those naysayers that can go that have 10 long streaks at A10 that Runic Pyramid's the best relic in the game. They might be right, but I am not someone who can get a 10 streak in A10. And so let me tell you, Pandora's Box is better for me.
That's fair.
Um, Next, we have Forbidden Grimoire. I love Forbidden Grimoire. It is another Dusty Tone relic. It's for Necrobinder. It's a 2 energy power that says at the end of combat you may remove a card from your deck. Eternal, so it can itself can never be removed. And upgraded, it is 1 energy.
Yeah, I
Oh
wanted to make a
boy.
note here about this one. I think this one it matters much more than the others if you see it in
Yeah.
act at the end of Act 1 versus the at the end of Act 2. The others broken no matter which act you get them in. The other Dusty Tomes, rather.
Yeah.
Versus Forbidden Grimoire is way better if you have an entire extra act to just thin down your deck like crazy. So keep that
Yeah.
in mind. I'm not sure how that's going to reflect on our ranking.
I think I'm going to say A tier. Now, if you're seeing this in as an Act 2 ancient, I think it would be S tier to me. I love removes personally. Uh, but also this is if you just hit combats, if you hit a bunch of hallways, it can be 8 removes in an act. I think you can do it in both acts. But if it is in Act 3, I'd probably put it in B tier, maybe C tier. Lot worse getting it at Act 3. So I think split the middle, put it
Yeah,
in A tier.
yeah, I agree. I think if you see this at the beginning of Act 3, it's probably C tier for me. Um, but S tier and yeah, and the other one, yeah.
I'm not sure I played with the next 2 Dusty Tomes. You just don't always see Darv, and you don't always see him when you've got the character. Um, Next is Silent with Wraith Form, which is a 3 energy ancient power. Gain 2 intangible. At the start of your turn, lose 1 dexterity. Upgraded, it is gain 3 intangible. Alex, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I've played with Wraith Form, and I haven't actually played with Corruption, so for that one, I don't know what we're gonna do. We've seen Thomas play with it once, and he said it was really good. So, but Wraith Form just lets you stall for the it just says you get to live for the next 3 turns, and then even after that, you have -3 dex. Like it's very reasonable to defend up at that point. After that, it gets really hard. But like it single-handedly just carries you through every single hallway fight. It gives you so much time during them. During boss fights, you have to be a lot more careful when you play the card down, which perhaps the boss fights are probably more what you're concerned about. I suppose a couple of elites can feel more threatening as well, but with that notable downside of the fact that it's not nearly as good in a boss fight, I think that does drag it down a bit, and I do think it's worse than the other 2 Dusty Tomes that we've talked about. I think it's probably C tier somewhere.
I feel good about that. Next, we have Corruption with Ironclad. It's a 3 energy ancient power. Skills cost 0. Whenever you play a skill, exhaust it. Upgraded, it's 2 energy. See, I'm not too sold on how good this is. Uh, Exhausting cards is kind of a boon. You could exhaust all your skills. I don't know if that's a real worry. Everything being free is really nice. Uh, but I haven't really
So,
played with it,
yeah, I
so
mean,
I'm just
here's the
kind of doing
question. If the card just read that every single skill you play is free, it'd be. I think the only thing that we're scared about with this card is you run into a boss fight and you run out of resources.
it.
Because, but if you just kill it before you run out of resources, then it's absurd. You're just gonna play every single card, defend for full every single turn,
And then
do
use all
everything you
all
ever
your
want, use
energy
all
on
your energy
attacking.
on attacking. It
Be
it
super
does
aggressive.
crazy things. Do you run out of resources? Sometimes. I feel like the run that Thomas got this, he in the final boss fight, he used a power potion to get barricade, and that allowed him to just stack up all the defense. If he didn't have that barricade, I'm afraid he would have burnt himself out and lost that boss fight. So like that's definitely a concern that can happen with this card. But I also think that means you can just pick up skills much more liberally. You can just slap them into your deck knowing that they're going to be exhausted. You can also exhaust down the
Yeah,
infinite's a lot easier.
yeah, but you get all those skills, but then you still have to draw corruption, right? So the
Yeah,
more
that's
skills
true.
you add, the later corruption shows up, the worse that happens. And it costs 3 energy, which is if you end up in a turn with skills, those skills are now free, right? So you still get to block that turn,
Yeah.
but it does kill the turn. It's really bad for the turn you play, you know?
I mean, if you still get to defend for full, how bad can the turn really be?
Yeah, I want to put it next to Wraith form, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
thinking C tier as well.
okay. We'll put it behind Wraith form because we've played with it.
Even though part of me wonders looking at Sealed Throne. I mean, neither of us have played with Corruption Plus or the Throne Plus in the current patch, so I don't know. But like, part of me wonders if the Sealed Throne Plus is actually worse. I don't know, but it's hard to speculate that. So we'll just leave it be.
Yeah, and I like Regent, so. Okay, we're on to Act 3 relics, proper Act 3. You've made it through Act 2. You're doing great. Now we just have to have enough power to beat the Act 3 boss. And first option we have is from tanks. It is Meat Cleaver. It gives you a new option at rest stops to cook. And when you cook, you remove 2 cards and gain 9 max HP. Alex. So no, I'll do
Yeah,
this one. You
which
do the next one because I'm.
okay.
Uh, well, so if you need to heal, the 9 max HP really goes a long way towards making it so you don't. If you wanted to upgrade, this can be a little bit harder, but it's Act 3. You don't have a ton of upgrades. Usually, you can path towards campfires. You can either get 3 or 4. You don't usually have to heal at them because you're getting the max HP. So this is 6 to 8 removes, uh, which I think is insane. I would put this in A tier. That's just a lot of sculpting your deck, a lot of choosing. I'd put it at the top of A tier. A lot of sculpting your deck, a lot of choosing what's going to happen. Yeah.
So I would argue that it's worse than Forbidden Grimoire. Even Forbidden Grimoire, even in if you only got it in Act 3. I said it was like C tier, but now that I'm thinking about it, it might be like B tier if you got it in Act 3, or even, yeah, because Forbidden Grimoire, you're going to get like 5 to 6 removes, maybe even more if you really path for it, which is Meat Cleaver gets you 6 to 8. And instead of the max HP, Forbidden Grimoire gives you the flexibility of allowing you to upgrade or rest if you need to at the rest sites. And so I think they're pretty comparable. But because Forbidden Grimoire has the upside of, hey, you can get this in Act 2, at the beginning of Act 2, and then just like shape your thing for the entire run, I think it's better than Cleaver.
But Forbidden Grimoire stays in your deck, which is sometimes annoying if you're doing some weird infinite, right? Uh,
It's a power card, so you just play it once and it's gone. I don't
look,
know
look,
how much power
I,
that
lo-
argument holds, but
I like I like Meat Cleaver a lot. Okay, um, pathing towards a bunch of fights in Act 3. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like pathing towards that many fights. It does have to be played in the fights too. I would rather have Meat Cleaver in Act 3. Uh,
sure. I don't think that's that hard of a call, perhaps. I think, see, the fact that it's at all close there, and the fact that you can get Forbidden Grimoire a whole act earlier, really gives the upside to Forbidden Grimoire just generally being better.
the world is a sad place. Try Boomerang. Choose 3 card attacks in your deck. Enchant them with instinct. Instinct says this card's attack damage is double.
I love Try Boomerang. I got it again, just barely, and it just made my Ashen Strike absurd. And my, I forget what it's called, but it's the 0 mana attack card in Ironclad that does like 23 damage if you have 3 or more Exhaust cards, and now it does like 46 to all enemies for some reason. Try Boomerang just makes your build up cards, what payoff cards, absurd. And I think it's really good because of that. That being said, I think it barely made our S tier for that tier list. And so comparing it to all the S tiers from all the tier lists, it's got some tough competition. And so I would argue for C tier, but I'm curious if you would if you're feeling D tier on this one. I think it's a C tier, but I don't know.
I'm definitely okay with C tier. Do would I rather have? I'm trying to look at these things and say, would I rather have this or them? Of course, I get those a tier earlier, right? Which
Right.
does matter. Um, but it's like comparing it to Protector. Yeah, I'm okay with C tier. Put it there.
Hmm. I'm scared of putting it above the Dusty Tomes.
Uh, we've never even played with those dusty
I played
times.
with Wraithborn, at least.
Uh,
But maybe that's fine. I'm scared. I'm
you,
scared. I'm
you've been
scared.
really talking me into this card. I would have probably been okay if you said B tier. So
It
I
does,
don't
yeah,
think
yeah, okay.
I don't think
Okay, I dig
S
it.
tier or A tier, but you gotta talk me to B tier right there. Um, we're now on to Vaku. Vaku's got one relic that we said was S tier for him, and it is Distinguished Cape. Upon pickup, lose 9 max HP. The number always makes me laugh because in order to get apparitions in the first game, you have to lose half your HP. And now max HP, add 3 apparitions to your deck. Apparitions are 1 energy, gain 1 intangible, exhaust, upgraded. They ethereal, gain 1 intangible, exhaust. Upgraded, they lose the ethereal, so you can wait to play them later. Uh, I think this is great. This is just so much defense. This is just so much defense. Um, I want to put it as top of B tier, but I could be convinced of A as well.
S tier really is stacked, but like this is such a snap pickup for me so often. It is absurd. You get so much stalling power, and it doesn't have the downside of Wraith Form where it takes an entire like Wraith Form first dedicates an entire turn to it, which is fine because you're defending for full because you have intangible. But then that means Wraith Form you only have really effectively 2 turns that you have intangible versus Distinguished Cape gives you 3 turns. Granted, they're not always on the perfect turns because they have ethereal, so that is very notable. Uh,
And and it does take a third of each of those turns,
it
right?
does take a third of each of those turns. This is true. I just think a one
But
mana block
yeah,
infinite.
but it also it it also doesn't kill you after that's done, right? Like
Exactly, yeah.
right.
That was the other thing is Wraith Form. You gotta kill it, or else you're doomed. But Distinguished Cape does not have that downside. So if you're thinking A tier, I'm thinking A tier minimum.
Yeah, kind of want to
I'm
B
more
tier.
happy to stay Distinguished Cape than Cleaver. I know you love Cleaver, Joseph, but Distinguished Cape is broken.
I like removes, okay?
And I honestly think it belongs in bottom S. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. I
I'll
pick it
use my
up like
power
it's a.
to take it to. I don't think
Yeah, no, that's fair. I
it's
pick it
really
up like it's an S tier, but At the same time, give me it or Pandora's box, and I'm gonna remove 8 strikes and defend.
Yeah, or like storybook, right? Which is just an extra turn each deck cycle. Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
a lot you can do with an extra turn each deck cycle. When you got a really small deck, it just keeps coming back. It doesn't exhaust. Storybook doesn't exhaust. Uh, so I don't think it's on that tier, but
yeah. That's valid.
um, and I'm not sure we are misjudging removes the way they meat cleaver. I love meat cleaver. What were we talking about? More meat cleaver. Thank you. Nunya pipe. Nunya pipe. Uh, the S tier relic from her we had was Diamond Diadem. I do not like this card, this relic. Not because I think it's unpowerful, but because I like playing cards. And this is whenever you play 2 or fewer cards in a turn, take half damage from enemies on their next turn.
I think
But
this is so
it is
broken.
insane, right? Because just any turn you can skip. However, even if it means you're not playing some cards you would normally play, you can just think those cards are now defending for half. And against a boss, right, hitting for 40, that's like 20 defense from skipping 1 energy. Or if you've got some bigger 2 cost cards, 3 cost cards, maybe you don't even have to skip any of your energy to block for 20.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's also flexible. It's not like it forces you to only play 2 or less cards on turns that they're not attacking. Spend all your mana. It don't matter. And I I will say there are a couple notable cases. I think this is A tier minimum. A couple notable cases. If you're playing silent, I guess in general, it's not going to be very good. Even then, it could be. I picked it up on silent. I'm pretty sure, and it was still like fine because defending for half is really good. But the other notable thing is if you got a energy relic from the Act Two ancient, then it's also much worse because only playing 2 cards, you're frequently leaving 1 to 2 mana left on the table. Versus when you only have 3 mana, you can, if you have a 2 cost card and 1 cost card, you only played 2 cards that turn anyway, and that can happen. I think it's A tier. I think it's top of A tier. How are you putting in B tier? This thing is absurd.
Uh, I don't like it as much as you do. Um, and I don't pick it up as much as you do. Because I like to play like 6 cards on my turns. What
I
are we
like to
talking
win, and that's what we're talking about.
about? I like to win. I'm not saying it's a bad. I think it deserves to be right in the
Okay,
middle of these
so
things.
Shiv, right? Shiv's this relic that probably should have been an S tier, and it blocks for 7 each turn from tanks. This does that, except like double.
Except for you spend energy to do it because you skip
Or
or
you
you
don't
spend
skip.
potential. I just don't. I
Okay, you're right.
I
You skip
I
most of the time.
never look at this and say I have a deck that only wants to play 2 things a turn. I literally I've never
Fine.
built my deck in a way that I want to be doing that, right? I know
Yeah.
it's often worth it to do that, right? It's worth it to skip those other cards in order to have all that defense. But I've never built it that way, right? And so that's the main reason I don't like it. Maybe I just need to play with it more, right, to see its true power. But
I will also
uh,
say we talk a lot about how good power cards are and how the main cost of them is they cost you health because you're not defending because expect
right,
like Echo Form, 2 cost, 3 cost power cards. Those are really
yeah,
expensive and they take a lot of time. This just lets you play down power cards for free. You just
yep.
get to defend anyway.
That makes sense.
Gotta move it up to A tier to make it. It's not B tier. You can put it
What?
below Cleaver if you really love Cleaver, Joseph, but put it
I
in A
love Cleaver.
tier.
I love Cleaver so much. No, I think it's B tier. I think it's B tier. Oh, hear me out. It's worse than everything in A tier, so it's B tier.
It's a tier above everything in B tier, so it's A tier.
No, no.
Yeah,
Would you
yeah.
rather in your run see that juicy leafy
Diadem.
poultice at the
Diadem is
beginning, or
broken.
see
Diadem is
diadem at
broken.
the end? Really?
Diadem was on a tier of its own for a reason. Nothing else. You see it, and it's just like, oh my.
So you're telling me you are happier seeing diadem at the end than leafy poultice at the beginning?
Yeah, 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 for sure.
See, that's just not how I experience this game. I see diadems, and I'd rather have seen leafy poultice at the beginning. I have seen leafy poultice, sealed throne. I'm like, what is this diadem guy even doing? Don't even need it. I'm gonna play
Diadem is
so
just
many
letting
cards.
you play every single power card easily. It's letting you defend for absurd amounts. It's letting you not defend when you don't need to because they're not attacking, so spend all your mana. Like it does so much.
Okay, I want to have this fight, but I want to have a fight about the whole tier list. I want this tier list to be ordered.
Joseph, Alex is right.
Yeah.
I
The
hate
tiebreaker.
tiebreakers. I hate tiebreakers. Well, that's well, then it goes in A tier.
Yes,
Um,
yes, 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 yes.
I feel really good about our S tier and even the order of our S tier, though maybe I'm higher on Meteor Shower than I should be, but I just think it's insane.
I would put Meteor Shower down 2 spots.
2 spots?
I mean,
Compromise and just go down
my
one.
brain does things when I see Pandora's box. When I see Meteor Shower, I'm like, man, that's amazing. But when I see Pandora's box, every single time, I'm like, that is broken. That's how I feel about
Alex,
every time I
Alex,
see Pandora's box.
it hacks the gambling part of your brain, though.
Ah!
This is the part of your brain that takes small scroll every time it's available. That's not.
But what
That's
if the rare card's good?
not. Hat thoughts. I
Meteor
pulled
Shower is
down
a lot
one.
of output.
It's a
Two
lot of
stars for
output,
that effect is insane.
and
And
the weakest.
Pandora's box has the downside where it's not uncommon for me to, especially if it's coming in up at the beginning of Act 3, I've already removed 3, 4 of my strikes and or defends, and so it has less of a power there. Meteor Shower is good in every single deck. Okay, fine. Those
And the
reasons
weak
I've
the
convinced.
weak is crazy on it too. I feel like maybe that part isn't got enough, but applying 2 weak to all enemies is just a great amount of block. 25% for 2 turns. It's not the easiest thing to get on Regent, though it's easier than everybody but Silent, maybe. But really good stuff. Okay. S tier's locked in. Let's go down to D tier. Quad
That feels D,
catastrophe.
D tier feels good.
Okay. I feel good. I feel. Let's pop up to C tier. Do we want to move any of these things up or down?
I could see. Ooh, B tier feels so weird to me because I
D
honestly
tier.
feel like Leafy Poultice is really good. I'm afraid Sealed Throne. Yeah, I feel like there's something weird going on about B tier and C tier that we might want to shift it around. I'm not sure though.
I mean, if it was up to me, I'd bump Protector and Triboomerang up and Diadem down. So it all looked like that.
Well,
But
good
I
thing
don't
Thomas has spoken, so Diadem stays in A tier. And
know.
then But yeah, I feel like
Do we
wow, I
think this
sold
is
you on
really a
Try
tier
Boomerang
up?
that hard. It makes me happy that I want to agree. I feel like I'm okay with this. At the same time, I feel like it wouldn't surprise me at all if we learn that corruption is actually just like A tier.
Just like gets you to an infinite
It
every
just
time you
plays
pick
every
it up,
card for free and then you just win the game. Like,
and then you win the game, have an infinite, or have whatever, however you
yeah.
want.
But with our current state of having not played with it, I feel fine with I feel this I would I I'm scared that Sealed Throne is lower than is at bottom of B tier.
Um,
You know, another card we haven't played with.
yeah, it like might have been the best relic in the entire game before it got nerfed, which is why they nerfed it, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
But now
it
it's
was
just
so,
like in hallway fights, it's so much worse because you draw it like several turns in and the output
yeah.
it provides
So your
because
deck
it
can't.
costs 3 stars and so you have to play
You have to
three
save
cards
for
to
that,
catch up, which matters much more when it's at the middle of the fight versus the beginning.
right? Right.
And so
Yeah,
it's
it
much
used
worse
to
in
just,
hallway fights. Um,
and you can't build your deck towards it as much as you used to be able to, I
yeah, you
assume.
can't. Yeah,
Right.
if you slap in, I feel like Sealed Throne before you could just see a star card, you could slap it in. It pretty
Comment,
much.
decisions, bam, bam,
You
bam.
just choose it.
7 stars.
Versus now, it's like, huh, I accidentally drew like 3 of my star cards that cost 5 each, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's
And
a lot more
maybe
awkward.
you were able to play it, but then if you play it, you're not gonna be able to play Sealed Throne when you draw it the next turn.
That is also
But
true.
still a lot of output.
But the output is insane, and it makes payoff Stardust insane. But I do think it might be bottom of B tier for the reasons we've been discussing.
Okay. I like Leafy Boltus being top of B tier, but maybe that's just because it's my favorite Meow relic.
Well, it's just weird seeing it there because every time I'm like, yeah, it's Leafy Poultice compared to like Tribu, you know, but I'm like, right, but it's Act 1, like it's before the run starts. Like, I have to remind myself of that. It's not just the raw power.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel good about B
B tier
tier
good.
and
C
C
tier
tier.
good.
Yeah.
So now we just have a big fight in A tier, or maybe our fight's done because Thomas broke us up.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think I might. How do you feel about Forbidden Grimoire versus Break?
I just had a really good run with Break. Yeah, 2 days ago. So it makes me want to put it above Forbidden Grimoire. It's really hard. It's really hard making that comparison of which act do you get it in, right?
I
Here,
mean,
let's just do that, and then I'll be
the
happy with it. We all need
I
to cook away our problems.
I think because the other thing about Forbidden Grimoire, it doesn't give you an instant power boost, and Break just gives you an absurd instant power boost. And that is another thing to think about. Obviously, like we said before, Forbidden Grimoire in Act, if you see it at the end of Act 1, it's S tier. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
but because you don't half the time, probably, then yeah, I feel good about that. And then
Yeah, I'd
clearing the
probably be.
item.
Yeah, and I would drop it down to B tier if you see it in F3. So let's put that. This is the one that's giving me troubles. This little scroll guy.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I like go into a multiplayer run, 4-player multiplayer, right?
Mhm.
Which is a very specific circumstance. but it's also a multiplayer card. So what else are we gonna do?
Is the only multiplayer relic on this tier list.
Yeah. Because also it's worse in two-player multiplayer. It just is. So like, are we only considering four-player multiplayer as the only multiplayer that exists? We probably shouldn't. Like two-player multiplayer
It
is
probably
wonderful.
dropped.
It
Yeah.
would certainly drop, and so it maybe should belong in bottom of A tier. Like I
But
don't,
then the other thing is, it's
and
like
also I
you're
think it's
playing four
only
player.
broken on specific characters. Like it's much worse
Can you?
on uh
Good.
Ironclad and others, I'm sure. Yeah, I feel like bottom. I would lean towards bottom of A tier.
Now, can you get colorless from this?
I think you might be. Yeah, you totally can. Which means, yeah, no, absolutely you can. Which means you're with
Beacon
a
of Hope.
chance of not getting something. Beacon of Hope is broken. That's fair.
Beacon of Hope. Because it looks like I'm trying to look at all the multiplayer cards right now. It looks like there's two per character. So this is
Yeah.
three. Does it show you both your characters and
No.
then one
Nope. I've
colorless?
gotten 3 colorless before.
Okay. All players draw 2 cards. That's a crazy. Intercept. That's actually really bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Beacon of Hope. Run changing. You will
Yep.
become the tank when you get that.
Yep. Buddy up.
All right. I
Insane.
kind of want to leave it there. Anything that in Meow you click on and it says you
That's
pretty
fair.
much run this, it's just what
That's
are we
fair. It is
doing?
Niao. It is Niao.
So let's just
Yeah.
leave it there and be
Yeah,
happy.
okay.
Thank you for watching this whole video. If this video hits 1,000 views before Thomas's birthday, we will rank all the D tier relics and order that tier so you will know what the worst ancient relic in the game is. So please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend before Thomas's birthday so that we can make that video.